So this is Holy, Holy, Holy in the key of C. But I'm gonna say like the coordinate, like the numbers, so that you can see them on the screen. Like if I play C, you can see that it says C. But I'm gonna say the one chord, just in case you want to switch up the keys and do it in a different key. So Holy, Holy, Holy starts off with the words Holy, Holy, Holy. And it starts off with the 1, which is C, to the 6 minor, which is A minor, and I add the 7th to G, and I suspend it. And so if you don't add the 7th or the suspension, it's a C, which is the 1, 6 minor, to the 5. So holy, holy, holy. But what I do for that part right there, holy, 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 is I do C, which is inverted. So we have C, and I do a walk down in the bass right here. I'll walk down to B to the 6, to the 6 minor, so that we have that 6 minor. So it sounds like this. Holy, holy. So the beat is really quick, so it goes holy, bum, 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 to the 5 suspended, holy, and you can resolve it. So that will be the C right here, resolved to the B. Then it goes, for Lord God Almighty, it goes up to the 4. And when Lord God, back to the 1, mighty. And what I like to do there is, so we'll go to that 4. We're already done with the holy, holy, holy. And then I do a little walk up. So I do, it's slowed down is C, D, F, A, and then I roll the chord. So, so it's like that. So, holy, 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 Lord God Almighty. And what I do right there for Almighty is we land on C, which is the 1 chord. Almighty. And what I'm doing there is just walking down a chord. So we're on C, and then I go to an F chord, which is the 4 chord. So an inverted 4 chord back to the 1 inverted. So it's Almighty. And then we go to the 5 after that. So it's Almighty. Her, which is the 5. Then you go to the 6 minor, and I add the 7th, the dominant 7. Lord, and then we go back to the 5. Lord. And what I do here is add the 2nd over our 5. Song. So in the bass we have the D, which is the 2nd. Song shall, and then I invert it. Song shall, I invert the 5, and then when we get to rise, it goes to the 2nd, which we already have in the bass, the D dominant 7. Rise to thee, back to the 5. So to what I do at that part, you can just keep the basic chords. What I do at that part is I go early in the morning, our song shall rise to thee. So that's slowed down. We're gonna get on the 5 for early, and then in the morning. So for I just walk this G right here that I'm hitting. I walk the G down to the F sharp, which will be the 5 major 7 to the 5 dominant 7. So early in the morning, And right there, I do a little just like walking up for the 6th minor, which is the A minor, and I roll the 5, which it sounds the same if you don't, but if you want to, you can. So early in the morning hour, 5 over D, which is the 5 over 2. Song shout to the 2 dominant 7, back to the 5, and then I put the dominant 7th in. Then I do a walk up from G, which is just G up to C, back to the holies. So holy, and we keep the same thing for the first holies. Holy, holy, merciful and mighty. And then we go to the A minor, which is different. God in 3, which that is the 6th minor. So I do the little walk up again like we have already done. And you just stay on that until we get to persons, which will switch to the 4 and the 1. So it goes God in 3 which is the 4, back to the 1. Sons. What I like to do here, when we get to Blessed Trinity, I like to switch up the chords a little bit, which normally, if you want to keep it the same, it would be God in 3, 4, 1, 4, 5, 5, 1. But I like to switch up the chords a little bit there, and what I do is, after you get to the 1, I go to the 2nd minor, which is D minor, which is inverted. So that's for blessed. And when we get to sed, I do a C chord over an F, which you could think of it as a F major 7, but I add the G. And I just like the voicing of that. Compared to 4, 5, 1, I like to go to the 2 minor, to the C over F, or F major 7. Then you go to the 5, and I add the dominant 7th in the bass before I go to back to the 1. So that sped up would look like this. So yeah, altogether, this is what it would sound like. And you can do the same for all the verses. I tend to, what I like to do is I like to keep that, the fancy chords and like the 2nd minor, the 4 major 7, which I guess is a 4 major 7 sus 2. just adding that C, which you could just think of it as a C over F. I think that's easier to think of it like that. You can add those if you want. I like to keep those for the first verses, but when I get to the last, you can go back to the just the normal chords, and maybe more of a like congregational choir singing out kind of thing. And for the normal chords, if you don't want to add those chords that I used, what it sounds like on that is just the 1, holy, holy, 6 minor, to the 5, and if you don't want to add the suspended, it's just a G chord, to the 4, back to the 1, 5, 6 minor, 5, to the 2nd major, to the 5. Same thing. Six minor, 4, 1, 4, 5, back to the 1. So yeah, I hope that was helpful. I hope that you found some joy in it, found some inspiration maybe with different chord voicings and different ways to invert things and use different voicings and chords, because I really do like when we get to the Blessed Trinity, instead of going just doing the 4-5-1, I really like the sound of the 2nd minor into the 4 major 7 suspended. I just really like I don't know if you call it crunch, but just this voicing and the sound of that major 7. And then like the kind of like the sound of the minor going to that chord, adding in the 7th and back to the 1. But yeah, I hope that was helping y'all find some inspiration. I hope it helped learning the piece, maybe using some different voicings. And like I said, with using the numbers, you can just change that to whatever key you'd like to use, maybe a key that you're having to do on Sunday, or just worshiping on your own in a different key that's better for you. But I hope that was inspirational, that it can like help you with different voicings, give you inspirations to use those kind of voicings in different songs. And yeah, just a tutorial on Holy, Holy, Holy.